How's it going, Laser Bruisers? I'm Bobby Sixkilla. Welcome back finally to Not For Broadcast. This is the big update we've been waiting for, the one that actually continues the main story. The last couple have been non-canon side things. They've been nice enough to give us during the whole pandemic thing, but now we've got the actual proper next step. So let's get into it. I'm excited. Apparently the game has basically doubled in size from this one update, so lots to do, I'm sure. Hopefully I can remember the controls well enough to actually perform, although, you know, my editing's always bad in the game anyway. They always give me like a C. I believe at the end of the last one we got shocked while we were editing. The rhythmic beeping of the heart monitor brings you slowly back to consciousness. Opening your eyes, you're greeted by a semicircle of concerned faces. Your family by your side, a reassuringly familiar sight in these new surroundings. You blink a few times to clear the sleep from your eyes and bring everyone into focus. Looking up at Sam's face is a mixture of concern and frustration. Things haven't been great between you two lately. And Chris hasn't been helping things. Looming at Sam's shoulder with a sour expression, it's clear there's still no love lost between the two of you. While Sam is worried about you, the family scowl is obvious on both their faces. You reach out a hand. Thanks for coming, honey. The worry for you wins out and Sam takes your hand before leaning in to kiss your forehead. Of course, sweetheart. I would never have been anywhere else. For the first time in a while, you both genuinely smile at each other before you look to the rest of your family. Just as you feel Susie's absence, you notice Charlie fidgeting. Clearly trying not to look worried. As soon as you turn to look at him, you can see Charlie tense up, his concern clear on his face. So you're definitely good, right? He finally asks, quickly looking away. Of course I am, buddy. Nothing to worry about. Charlie looks at you and grins, one of those infectious smiles that spreads around the room. It's always good to have him in your corner. His smile fades as you notice your mother staring listlessly out the window. Despite all your best efforts, she's not been doing well lately. You okay, Mum? Your mother starts, your call clearly shocking her out of her reverie. She turns to you and smiles, and you're grateful to see increasingly rare recognition in her eyes. Yes, dear, of course. How are you feeling? You smile warmly and nod, but before you can respond, a doctor bustles in and ushers everyone out. She asks you, for what feels like the 100th time, how you feeling? Surprisingly well, all things considered. Excellent. There's no sign of any real damage, just a bit of shock to the old system. Pardon the pun, she smiles. Not that we're recommending you do anything like that again, of course. After a couple of days of rest at home, you should feel right as rain. She turns to leave, but stops at the door. Oh, and the private room? And care? The doctor gestures to your room, which you now looks rather expensive. It's all been paid for by Mr. Bozeman. He left those flowers and said not to worry and take the rest of the week off. You'll see on Monday, apparently. Seems like that's the least he could do. Considering we got shocked at work. Aren't we on ACC now? A burden to bear. You come home from a particularly late shift to find the kitchen light still on, which isn't normally a good sign. Everyone's usually in bed by now. Softly opening the kitchen door, you find Sam sat at the table. Bills and papers are strewn in front of them, as well as what looks to be their second pack of biscuits. They give you a quick kiss, and you take a seat next to them. Sam frowns and goes back to the bills they're holding. Hey, sweetheart, just looking at the numbers again. They look to the door to the pantry, now converted into your mother's bedroom. We've been doing our best, but I think Cassandra really needs a nurse to look after her now. Suddenly the bills are all you can see. I've been working things out, but I think we might just be able to afford it. Sam smiles at you, but you can see this has been weighing on them. Things are really difficult, and this isn't making it any easier, but she's your mother. We have to really, don't we? We'll make it work somehow. The sword of Damocles sheathed, at least for the moment. You grab the papers and stuff them into the drawer. It's such a relief not to have to worry about it anymore, or so you told Sam. Hours later, you're still awake. Hours later, you're still awake, staring at the ceiling, thinking, how long will the money last? Current wealth, not worrying every day. It's just gone down. That was not quite breaking even. I didn't realize that was even a function in the game. When did they add that? When do I get to go back to controlling the machine? I like it. Even if I'm bad at it. Sam's out with work tonight and Charlie's staying at a friend's. The house is yours. You order a takeaway, have a couple of drinks and decide to relax in front of the TV. Not a great selection tonight, but surely something to watch. Always comedy for me. Always. The humour's a bit hit and miss, but the joke about the kiln that has you bent double in laughter. What are you watching, Auntie Donna? Wiping a tear from your eye, you spy something reflecting the light of the TV under the coffee table. Curious, you reach down and pick it out into the light. And as you pick it up, you remember the note Sam left for you. Hey, sweetheart. Charlie lost Susie's present. Would you mind looking for it tonight? As you hold it closer, you're surprised to find the gift's actually an engraved lighter for Chippy. She claims the nickname's affectionate, but Charlie still scowls every time she says it. You're not sure Sam would approve. The accompanying note from Susie explains, Urkistan has a long tradition of glorifying the art of starting fires. Thought you'd like it. Don't do anything stupid. Suze. Hopefully it's just a souvenir, not a new pastime he's picking up. Or about to pick up. It's nice that she thought of him. Are we back at work yet? Because we're taking a lot of time off. I guess we are. Ooh, do we get to pick some funny ads? The silence. Oh, here we go. Do we have ads? Advanced entitlements. Sports board. Check power. Oh, come on.
Now. Don't worry, Kath, it'll be alright.
Alright, what do we got?
Be alright, Kath.
What's this one? Let's take that one. The Floodmaster 5000. Oh, this one's broken?
I mean it, Kath.
Lame.
Stay where you are, Kath. Jenny?
This is not Jenny's decision, Jeremy. Or yours.
Alright, here we go.
I'll talk to Buxton.
Oh, good. You can tell him I'll return his wife's casserole dish at our dinner next week.
We got this. If I remember how to do this, that is.
Jenny?
I'm sorry, Kath, you're gonna have to leave.
You want to turn that up a bit?
Letting it go.
That nun's got guns.
She nearly blinded
10
me.
seconds,
I thought we were
everybody.
all part of a team these days.
Things are better
Here we go.
for me, you know that. Just stop being so high and mighty and do your job.
You'll have me fired too.
3.
Don't tempt me. Good evening.
Always
I'm
fighting.
Megan Wolf.
And I'm Jeremy Dawson. Our main headlines tonight.
The establishment strikes back. The World Council has agreed today to impose punitive sanctions on the people of this country.
The sanctions, which are broad-ranging, include restrictions on the supply of oil and
What's
gas,
with the faces?
food, clothing, and even some medicines. But how should we react? We asked the public.
So how do you feel about the sanctions?
I actually think that with Advance in charge we'll be fine. Of course the rest of the world will want us to fail, or it will be their billionaires next. But I trust Julia and Peter.
Yeah, hard out.
Thanks, Patrick. Fascinating stuff. Thanks, Patrick.
Popular Prime Minister Julia Salisbury has released a reassuringly brave statement in response to the World Council's controversial announcement.
This international declaration is nothing short of outrageous. We
Okay,
are
okay.
a democratically elected government with massive...
I'm not familiar with this at all.
We do not recognise these sanctions.
Before it was like
And
dodge
we
those
encourage other
little
socially
white
progressive
bullets or
nations of the
whatever.
world to both resist and ignore them. Advance have struck fear into the heart of the international community by showing that it is possible
Jesus.
to have radical change for the betterment of the many. And whilst I wish we could improve other countries as much as we have our own, we do not rely on the help of others to thrive. This country is entirely self-sufficient. We are a team.
Bloody hell. I don't like
now
this.
more than ever. And this team is on your side.
Thank God.
Thank you.
I prefer dodging the bullet.
Defiant stuff. But what do you, the public, think of our government's stance? Robin Short found out.
I was wondering if you could tell me what you think of the government.
What? That shower of iridescent pricks punishing success and rewarding laziness? They're taking this country down the bloody Swanee. And it's not just me that thinks so. My wife Iris, she agrees.
I don't think she's going to have much choice.
Following the release of the Floodmaster 5000, production of Floods are at an all-time high, requiring the new manufacturing facility in Grizzleford to move to 24-hour-a-day production.
With people finding more and more uses for the ever-versatile Flard, the team at Remington Cyst certainly have their hands full keeping up with demands.
I don't know what floods are.
Is there anything better than a handful of floods? We asked Patrick to find out. Patrick?
Nothing better than a handful of floods.
Could I ask you for your opinion of floods?
Of what, Pet?
Floods.
What are they?
You know, floods, like floods, you know, everyone knows what floods are. Floods.
Don't know. Don't care.
Oh.
Is it some sort of code?
Are you okay?
A momentary lapse of reason. Commuters across the capital found themselves somewhat bemused by the latest stunt by controversial protest group Disrupt.
In a baffling start to the day, commuters found performers outside
keep working
every
for,
major station,
Disrupt.
all dressed and posed identically. Whether we're supposed to be amused or intimidated is anybody's guess, Jeremy. But most commuters didn't even stop to notice.
Well, as long as it's not some grand contemporary dance, it's probably harmless.
But how do we all feel about Disrupt and their eclectic tactics? Robin found out.
How do you feel about Disrupt?
Oh, well, now you're talking. Ruddy hero, showing us not to take it lying down like Iris here.
So you both feel they're a cause worth supporting?
Oh, Iris doesn't speak on mine, but we're pretty sure there's still one in there, aren't we, love?
I don't think she's going to get a word in edgeways.
Wherever it is, it loves Disrupt, fighting the Oiks for our freedom. And what could possibly be wrong with that?
Do you need me to get you some help?
Bubbling up, intrepid scientists
Do you need me to call the police?
And Dr. Ingrid Svorsborg and Hawkinsford today sent a blueprint of the escape craft in which they hope to finally leave Dante's taint.
With expert opinions of the plan running the gamut from optimistically engineered to that looks like something my granddad made in his shed, it sounds like the unfortunate team are going to need all the thoughts and prayers they can get.
Oh, Jesus.
So what should we think about the escape plan? Patrick Bannon again.
So I'd imagine that you think this is a great plan.
Oh my God! How did you know? It's a brilliant idea. I hope everyone gets behind them so that they know that we're with them. In spirit, of course. I can't actually go diving because I'm scared of salt.
Random.
I am not a number.
Assault killed my mother,
Applications finally
killed my
open
parents.
Today for the new advanced team membership cards, a scheme by the government to allow fast access to all the new public services being introduced daily.
The team membership cards are entirely voluntary, but will be recognised as legal identification by all major organisations, including the police, banks and, vitally, pubs and bars.
And of course, there's no charge, Jeremy.
It all seems too good to be true.
Well, you've always been a cynic.
Agreed.
Most importantly, what should you, the public, think about the new team membership cards?
Team membership cards?
I don't really join things as a rule. As Mother always said, membership is mostly for unmentionables, Malcolm.
And finally tonight, game of two halves. Fresh out of rehab, repentant celebrity sportsman Johnny Handsleeves is promising to turn over a new leaf.
In a surprisingly energetic appearance on the Whitney Chinwag show this morning,
Whitney
Johnny
Chinwag.
showed everyone he's certainly full of life and raring to go.
You better not try that on our sofas. I doubt they'll survive the frenzy.
But what should we think of this exuberant behaviour? Patrick?
Oh my God, fantastic!
Wise words.
She's happy about everything.
Later tonight, in a bit of a switcheroo, it'll be Jeremy in the culture chair, spitting rhymes with popular rapper Jay Zus. And then we'll both be chatting with a familiar team of
Jay
veterans
Zus.
set to take the nation by storm again.
That's all coming up on tonight's
National
Nightly
Nightly
News.
Jesus, I hate this wave thing. Oh my God, it just keeps moving.
First tonight, thankfully, some news as we return to our main story.
The World Council today agreed that punitive and potentially illegal sanctions should be imposed upon this country. The sanctions, which come into effect immediately, aim to stop the flow of food, fuel, and even some medicines from reaching your pockets.
That sounds bad.
Tonight we have guests from across the continent to discuss this unprecedented situation. For advance, Peter Clement is at his home in Lamfordshire. Are you there, Peter?
Yes, I can hear you, Jeremy. Thank you for having me.
A momentous day, Prime Minister. Are you shaken?
Oh, I don't scare that easy, I'm afraid, old son. Neither do the people of this country.
Well, joining us is Ivan Vodovich, Foreign Minister of Urkistan. Ivan, thank you for being here.
Great pleasure. You, Megan Wolf, are like strongest guard at labour camp who wake up inside body of crazy, expensive prostitute. In my country, you will be worshipped as a god.
Okay.
Minister, as one of those arguing most strongly for these sanctions, how do you feel about Advance's defiant stance?
Advance is like man who think he have big career in movies land, when actually he in dirty sanitarium, screaming at mirror and holding tiny penis in hand.
He's clearly not from Svenland, and we have like some of the cleanest mental health facilities in the continent, yeah.
And welcome to Svenland's Minister of Mojo, Björk. I'm sorry, we don't appear to have your surname.
Minister of Mojo?
Just Björk, yeah. We don't use things like socially divisive surnames here, yeah.
Minister?
It's just Björk, yeah.
Right,
It's just Björk, yeah.
Your country spoke in favour of Advance at the World Council today, but you were noticeably absent when it came to the actual vote.
Well, what a surprise. The hippies didn't show up for the fight.
Actually, that's quite racist, because if you must know, we were going to go to the whole, like, boat thing, yeah? But it's actually the Festival of Feuerland here at the moment, where we honor the old generations. So, like, we all had to work our grandparents' linear whilst the boat was happening, and that's, like, a really, really time-consuming process, actually.
You're like a sissy man. My expression, sissy man, is like man with tiny penis who like to wash more than once a week.
Actually, that's quite homophobic, yeah, because...
Oh, stop winding him up, Ivan. We're not back at the Grange now. Sorry, Jeremy. Ivan and I used to play golf back in my media days.
Yeah, he always wins.
Nothing gives him greater pleasure than grinding people's gears. The more publicly, the better.
Peter, you're like man with tiny penis. Actually, he discovered that.
I think this man might have a problem with his tiny penis.
Oh, his tiny penis!
I was just worried that when the rest of the world sees how well we're doing, they'll notice all that dosh that he's got squirreled away. Because that's what these sanctions are, Megan. They're the last pathetic gasp of an establishment in collapse. Wolves at the gates, Ivan, old mate.
Good. They can join others on my wall.
Actually, in Svenland, we have, like, serious animal welfare legislation. And, like, my friend Helga, she got arrested, yeah, for killing a butterfly that was hovering over her fuel thing. I mean, in English, jam sandwich.
I used to know a girl called Jam Sandwich. She went right a cracker too.
A girl called Jam Sandwich?
We seem to be wandering a little from the news here.
Interest, Jeremy, the real people behind the headlines and all that. So if you're watching...
They're all fucking loopy.
Yeah. Let's see if we
The
can.
man with tiny penis.
Crux, I'm not sure about that. I'll have to run it past Mrs. Clement first, eh?
Peter, you're like man trying to empty ashes of mistresses into oncoming vent. Soon you have tiny penis and being full of secrets.
In Svenland, we don't really go in for all that restrictive monogamy stuff here. We're kind of flawed, actually.
Okay, well, it seems that we are running out of time.
Yes, so before we go to the break...
It was hilarious, though.
briefly,
Thank you.
Gentlemen, with the people of this country facing shortages and
Possible shortages and power outages.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Possible shortages and power outages. Can you summarise your thoughts for us, Minister Björk?
Well, from here, yeah, you all look a bit stupid really arguing about outdated divisive concepts like money. In Finland, we replaced currency with a system of bodily fluids back in the 1970s, and that's like really hard to sanction, actually.
Thank you, Minister Vodovich.
Your country is like man who think he invented perfect trap for giant mutant hairy bear. When really, he's just standing in field
holding his tiny penis, yes. Thank you, Minister. And finally, Mr. Clement.
Let me talk to your viewers here, Jeremy. Don't worry, everybody.
Holding his tiny penis.
Don't even lose a wink of sleep. We knew the rest of the world would react this way, and we're ready. As my old man used to say, you can't make a shite pie without blocking a few toilets.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Reassuring words, thank you.
We'll be back
after these messages.
I know he's bad, but
hey, Peter,
it's funny.
Over your way this weekend. You fancy a quick 9?
Oops,
Yeah,
sorry.
Sure, front or back.
That's what
I know he's a bad man, but he's so funny.
She's out of your league, mate.
Thank you for the correction.
Well, you have to be more careful.
It's all part of his hello to acid gastrique.
Acid gastrique. Okay, that's terrible. Let's just listen to this instead.
And protects hair from irresistible sharp.
Oh, B grade. My best grade ever.
Contains an organic blend of ingredients that penetrate deep into
This is important. New government censorship should show up in blue. Same as regular censoring. Keep an eye out for the advanced blue waveform.
Advanced blue waveform. That doesn't sound good.
Are you still meant to bow to foreign royalty?
What?
Should I just like curtsy?
Hang on. Have they given you the Crown Prince report?
What?
Meghan?
This is Jeremy, and he'll be interviewing you.
Yo, thanks for having me on your show, man.
It's quite all right.
Yo, just a quick one. You're not going to ask me about the chimp, are you?
Live in 10 seconds.
See, put that get up on himself.
The chimp?
I'm just saying.
Going in 5, 4.
Who are we starting on?
3.
Welcome back. I'm Megan Wood.
Called it.
Later, we have an exclusive first look at a theatrical sensation everyone's going to be talking about. But first, it's time to go over to the culture spot with lovely old Jeremy Donaldson, who's joined by a very special guest. Jeremy.
Thanks, Megan. I have the honour and privilege of being joined by hip-hop royalty. He's been called the son of the streets and the father of truth. Not sure how that works, but whatever. Let's welcome Jesus!
Oops, wrong one.
Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, it's a real honour to be here on your show, The News. You know, as a kid on the streets, I used to watch you through a window of the shop, so to be here right now is crazy.
You've had quite the journey to be here today. Can you tell us about it?
Well, you know, I try not to, well, you know, the past is the past, and I don't like to dwell on it.
I understand you.
But yeah, man, the streets is all I remember. Like, my mother donated me to a charity shop soon after I was born. Elderly lady took pity on me.
Donated to a charity
She let me
shop?
sleep on a pile of crime fiction until I taught myself how to walk.
Wow, that's quite the childhood.
And she died, died tragically. Right there in my arms, man. You know, I remember a tear falling as she laid there next to the used homeware. In that moment, I became a child of the streets. I was just 18 months old.
What a tale. What a tale. You're known for your direct and honest lyrics. Was your style informed by your troubled past?
Well, like I said, I try not to talk about it. It's just, it's just too hard.
Of course.
But my first album is about the story of the first 4 times I stole, so I wouldn't starve. A small group of infants came to see me as their de facto leader. They call me Mr. Cheese Slice. Anyway, we were like a family.
So it would seem. Recently, you've been quite outspoken about the government.
Yeah, fuck the government. Fuck Advance. Fuck Peter Clement.
What is it that you object to so vehemently?
Well, you know, they stole from us. They're taking our money and spending it, man.
Redistributing it. Actually, homelessness has been all but eliminated in the last couple of months.
So?
Surely that's a cause close to your heart?
Yeah, nah, of course, man. Very much so. I just mean, like...
So?
Why do I have to pay for it, you know?
You don't. People have been rehoused on property seized from the historically wealthy. And that couldn't have been you, could it?
Look, yeah, I worked hard to be here. I built this from nothing, and I deserve to be rewarded
So yes,
for that.
he's very wealthy.
Would you say you worked harder than, say, a farmer or a care worker?
I don't know. But if people are taking something from my music, choose to value it, buy it, who's to say I don't? And no one can take that away from me.
Not even to help, say, vulnerable children? Mr. Cheese Slice?
What is it you're trying to say?
I just don't understand where you've placed yourself politically. I mean, is it ideological or is it tactical?
Well, it's more...
It's all about money for him by the look of it.
Stop trying to tie me in knots with your words, Jeremy. I let the music speak for itself. And the people agree with me. And the people agree with me.
Well, that remains to be seen. But you have given me a very easy segue out of a conversation that I promise you was much more painful for me than it was for you. So here he is with his hit song, Mrs. Ludlow's Tears.
Oh no, I'm going to do something a little different. It's a new single I've been working on.
Oh, so this is unapproved, is it?
Yeah. You love it?
Excellent. Don't worry, we've got a
Excellent. I feel like he really wants to lose his job, eh?
So here he is with a new song. Aren't we lucky? It's Jesus!
First, you're gonna pay up. You're gonna pay back.
Well, we're all different races from many different places. At any given moment, only one could be the greatest. So you can feel the elation from your participation. Still two leaders in this motherfucking nation. Now we're getting sanctioned, talking
Jesus.
about expansion. Why does Julius require a massive fucking mansion? So fuck all your schemes. I don't need your freaky team, and I don't need your help to achieve my fucking dreams.
There's a lot of swearing here. This is becoming problematic.
So don't make a fuss when you find you're one of us. Yeah, every single one of you's a bit Jesus. And you can call me crazy, cause no one ever pays.
It's a bit too close to Jesus, isn't it?
I'm being motherfucking lazy. I may be inventive, my taste may be expensive, but why would I get out of bed with no fucking incentive? Although it's contravention of your obvious intention, I like to eat a little of the fruits in my invention. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. The best of the praise of the crest of the wave, cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for.
Does that blue mean we're censoring the thing when he's taking the piss out of Advance? Oh shit. I was not paying attention, I apologize.
So this is for the snub ones, the push and the shove ones, the folks that feel the burden of their motherfucking loved ones who had plenty like a motherfucking Bentley, the ones who now finding that their bank accounts are empty, the ones of aspiration who had to flee a nation, the ones who built a business out of dreams of perspiration. There's all sorts of people, the good and the evil. It only takes a glance to see we're not
Alright.
equal.
Let's focus on this.
You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams.
Can't believe we're getting so much trouble for saying fuck.
Not the same, and the best of the praise of the press of the ways, cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Gonna take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's fake as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for.
I don't mind you taking the piss out of Peter Clemens.
Get out of your seats, get your asses.
Don't bother me.
Set a fire in the building, let him feel some.
I've always had a problem with authority anyway.
And burn them on the powers of Advance's fucking letters. Gonna take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to steal the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Chase that dream.
I'm starting to get into it now, even though he's obviously an idiot.
On as moments as it seems, cause they're stale and corrupt. Then you're angry, then your hearts and your minds and your fists to the
I'm totally gonna get fired. It's gonna be worth it though.
Jesus there with his new song. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio.
I lost so much from letting that big swear word go through.
I may not agree with you, but I'd just like to offer you an apology. I've just been told that there was some kind of issue upstairs, and an attempt was made to censor some of your lyrics.
What? Are you joking?
I just
Only
like
the
to
swearing.
say to you and everyone at home that this was a mistake.
This is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe this.
Here at the National Nightly News, we pride ourselves on remaining neutral, unbiased, and independent of any outside
As
interference. You have my word. We will never censor ideas. Back to you, Megan.
Well, a bit of dangerous language there, sorry about that. Well, thank you to little Jeremy Donaldson for providing our...
It's only the swear words I was censoring, come on. I got in trouble when I didn't.
...faces about their upcoming dramatic outing. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
That's the ads.
Jenny, this is fucking outrageous!
If you could just come with
No, this is ridiculous. Who do I complain to?
This is just a mix-up, I'm sure. Now, if you come with me, I really do have to ask
Oh,
you to
trust
leave
me.
it.
My father's going to hear about this.
I understand.
Who's his father?
This is unbelievable, Megan.
I don't know what you're talking about, Jeremy.
That was terrible. But I don't care.
Just a reminder, fixing that old VCR. Open a new tape. Last ad break.
Sometimes it can be a bit fiddly to get in place.
Oh, that sounds bad, Brad.
Let's put in... Oh, Crazy Neil's. We're gonna have Crazy Neil again.
Here we go.
Oh, shut up, stop it.
Look at him.
Alright, here we go.
If we could just get you in position.
Oh, say no more. Say no more.
I guess that's where the electricity shot... Oh my god, she's got a big gun in her hand.
And Mr. Harris, and this is Ms. Radin.
What?
Philippa.
I've actually got an LMG. What the hell's that for?
Perhaps a lower order demon.
Yes, it is awfully exciting, isn't it?
Right, okay then. We're going live
This
in
is
10
fucking nuts.
seconds, opening on camera 1.
Apologies for my poor performance, censoring out swear words. But fuck.
5, 4, 3...
Floodmaster 5000.
Welcome back, and no, you're not mistaken. Sitting across from us are some very familiar faces.
You really are too kind, Megan. It was only a yogurt commercial, but I'm still proud of it.
Here to talk about his new show, we're joined by National Treasure Tommy Harris, the National Theatre's Philippa Radin, and National Deficit Jeff Algebra.
It's so lovely to have you all. Tommy, would you like to tell us about the show?
You know what? I'd bloody love to. It's about me. It's about my life.
And where did the idea come from?
So, right, picture this. Their legs akimbo, mid-session, sweat is pouring out of me like an immense hog. And then Cindy comes in, she says, Pete's on the phone.
That's Peter Clement, the Prime Minister.
Yeah, Pete's actually a really good mate of mine.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, no, he comes to training sometimes. He's actually a pretty good goal sweeper. Anyway, so, Pete, he says, Toby, he thinks my name's Toby, see? He says, how would you...
Oh yeah, you're real close, mates. Doesn't even know your fucking name.
Spread your message of team spirit and cooperation across this fractured nation. How would you like to really make a difference in these desperate times?
What did you say?
Yeah, right, yeah.
So, Jeff, the question on everyone's lips is, what in God's name are you doing here?
Well, after the success of my debut work and all the people that I've touched, I knew that I had a career in theatre. Yeah? I've always been an admirer of Tommy from afar. So when my manager phoned and said that I'd been offered the gig as director, I was ecstatic. I whipped my trousers off and got straight to work.
Whoa.
Why did you do that?
I do all my best work with my trousers off.
Yeah, I've been told.
Don't we all?
No, I wouldn't say so. Right, Tommy, sorry, would you just give us a sense of what the show is actually about?
It's about how hard it's been for me and some of the struggles that I've faced. It like really getting to the heart of how tough it is to be me. I call it Tommy Harris. Jesus, that was hard.
We actually have some tips of the process of
Jesus,
the show.
that was hard.
Would you mind telling us what's going on here?
Yeah, so the show is built around two things that are very important to me. It mixes scenes from my life as well as epic fantasy retellings of scenes from my life.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
I'm sorry, son. You're an embarrassment.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
Back, demon! Back to the hells!
That's fucking ridiculous.
What's it been like co-starring with Tommy Harris?
I've always dreamed of treading the boards at medium-scale regional theatres, Megan. And for once, this show really gives me something to sink my teeth into.
What's different about this show, then?
Tommy, Mr. Harris's show really lets me show my tremendous range as an actor. I've always suffered from typecasting.
This is me with a different hat on, and this is me with another hat on.
Characters in every god-awful yogurt advert, god-forsaken soap opera, or, God forbid, a pantomime. But you know, this show has really let me just go there.
Jeff, the viewers at home will be dying to know exactly what is it that you bring to the show? What is it?
Good point.
Good question. I think these guys would agree with me when I say that it's my my steady hand on the tiller, my arm round the shoulder approach that's really brought the production from strength to strength.
Absolutely right. Jeff's contributions are immeasurable. He was our rock.
Oh my god, he's got no pants on.
Sneak peek of anything else that might be in the show.
Yeah, all sorts, yeah.
Yep. We've got lots of exclusive first-hand experiences of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
And some epic fantasy retellings
Ooh,
of
sports
Tommy's
board.
time in the underground sports board scene.
You'll never take the sacred path! And am I right in saying this was
Oh, Jesus.
officially commissioned by the government?
Yeah, all paid for by the taxpayer, which, you know, to be honest, was actually a lifesaver, really.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that without Advance's support, we'd have had to cut the finale.
Which frankly would have been a travesty.
Absolutely.
Oh, God, Jesus Christ!
Goodness, and you do this every night.
Absolutely. It's a metaphor.
For what? For what?
Death.
And the public are footing the bill, are they?
Too bloody right they are. Between the cost of my tour bus and the dry cleaning and my ties, I'm barely scraping.
At least you don't have to clean your pants because you never wear them.
Where can the folks at home come and see this for themselves?
We're performing all over the nation.
And people can see it for absolutely free, all courtesy of Advance. Isn't that incredible,
I mean,
Jeremy?
we paid, the taxpayer paid for it, right? So
Well, thank
it should
you
be free.
so much for coming. Next time we see you, no doubt you'll have taken our jobs.
That's all we have time for tonight. Join us tomorrow when I'll be interviewing
guy's creepy.
the world's most attractive horse. I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm Megan Wolfe. And from all of us here, have a peaceful night.
That's the ads. Let's get reset for tomorrow, please.
Hey, we must stop bumping into each other like this, eh?
Crazy Neil's got demon horns now. Ooh, an A grade. Shit. I didn't seem like that was especially good, but shit, I'll take it. Garden furniture that looks like a... Oh my god, garden furniture that looks like a garden furniture. Well, you are crazy. That was fantastic. B, E, and A. I'll take a C. Hell yeah. You have received your full wages. Broke ass poor. Technically not negative. That's pretty good. Jesus Christ, we got a whole financial report now? I can't handle that. We helped disrupt and we shat on Advance and whatever on the radio station. I mean the TV station. Okay. Well, with that done, it is time for us to wrap this episode up. That was fantastic. I cannot wait to get back into it. I don't know how many more broadcasts there actually are in the new update, but we're going to keep going until we run out. Till then, it begins. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.